Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning. Today's the 21st, I believe. It's day 8 here in New York. Clara's over here behind the curtain playing with her tail. She's a little distracting, I will admit that. This morning I decided to run over to CVS to get Benadryl. It was a successful trip. I really did just want to order it last night, but that didn't go so well. Every time I turn around, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. So I didn't know what to expect when I got over there, and I kind of thought first thing in the morning I might be okay. There was plenty in stock. So got my Benadryl, got an earful. So let's just say the trip was entertaining. All right, so today I thought I would talk about hat bonnet storage at home. I've had a couple questions about that. So I thought I'd go over my cheap ways of having nice, safe storage for millinery. First off, let's take a look at some hat stands. It's going to be hard because I'm not sure I'm going to get them all on camera the right way. So I make most of my own hat stands because they are expensive. Antique ones are very expensive. So this is about as easy as you can get. This bottom piece is just a plaque. These are at Joann's. This is the smaller one. This one here is bigger. Okay. I would recommend if you're going to do a small one, this is just fine. This is a dowel. This might be 8 or 10 inches. And on the top of this version, I actually just have foam. There's a screw here up through the bottom and a screw here through the top. The foam is covered with cotton batting, and then over the top of that I have the velvet. Okay, so this makes a decent size for at home. Let me angle this down a little more. Okay, let me loosen this and then angle it down a little more for today. Okay. Oh, we lost my head. All right, so that way you can see the whole piece. All right, for this, I would say this is a hat size. If you want a bonnet, I would go with at least 12 inches. That way you don't have to worry about it hitting at the bottom. Move up to the next ones that I have here. Okay, so this is the same concept. Move this back. This base at the bottom, this is about a 6-inch piece. Okay, so they've got some rectangles, they've got ovals, they've got circles. This is also a plaque. This is just a circle up at the top. I'm going to say that's 3 to 4 inches. And this is actually part of an old table. I have two, change that. One was a table, and I think one was a chair or just a bunch of dowels that I got at a sale. Since they were getting painted anyway, it didn't really matter. So for this, you have 2 plaques of 2 different sizes, 2 screws, pre-drill these. Okay, so drill the wooden piece at the bottom and then drill up through the center, then put them together to screw them together. Same thing for the top. I did use some wood filler up here at the top so you can't even see where the screw is. And I think I've got 2 or 3 layers of paint on here. Okay, so this one, oh, these are much taller. So let's see. Nope, that's still not going to work. I'm going to say these are 15 to 17 inches. I should measure these at some point. This is the first that I did. So this is the oval base, give you an idea. A little larger than my hand. Okay. Again, this was just a spindle from something. In the top here is another wooden disc, and then I covered that with some scrap velvet that I have. So these are nice to have at home. I've got a bunch of them. I use them at home. I use them out at the museum. Okay, let me bring this back up a little bit. Sorry about my hand. Okay, so also for at home, One of my favorite places to get boxes, and this is a Christmassy one, is actually Dollar General. I find they bring in seasonally an assortment of boxes. Some of them are flip top, like this, and some of them are the more traditional band box. But their walls are solid. This is easily 2 to 3 millimeters thick. Okay. Ideally, I would say go a little larger than this one. I would say 12 inches by 12 inches by 8 inches is probably the smallest you want to go for a hat or a bonnet. It's going to be pretty snug for a bonnet, and about right for a hat. Okay, if you have a wider brim hat, you'll need something a little bit bigger. But the good news is in this flip top style, they usually have plenty. Or they'll do wider, shallower ones, which are nice for hats. But you know which pieces you have and how much space you need. So this guy, which is just a tad small, was $5. So that was very affordable. This happened to just be what was there when I ran over before last fall's workshop. Okay, so then one of my favorites for at home, obviously, is a Sterilite box like this. Okay, so this is the 24 quart. Okay, now here's the catch. You're not storing it like this, you're storing it like this. Just gotta move my notebook out of the way. So what you're actually going to do, I'm going to adjust this again. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, so you've got what's normally your lid. You put your hat stand. Now I'm second guessing whether this hat stand fits in this one. Put your hat or your bonnet. Oh, just about right. And then this goes over the top. Okay. All right, so in reality, this needs to be a little shorter. Wish I brought a measuring tool over. So I would say you want your stand to be about 6 inches tall. So not quite this tall. I have, like I said, a bunch of these, and I don't know which ones are where. But when you have it like this, you get to see which piece is inside. It's a fairly sturdy, stable container. You could easily stack these 2 or 3 high and then be able to see which ones are inside. If you attach the hat stand to the lid, you could do a screw through the lid if you wanted, or you could run elastic bands over the lid. And how do I want to show you? If you ran elastic over like this and then just kind of squeeze the elastic under, this is an idea I've had in my head for a while. I just haven't done it. That would help hold this in place, and then you could stack those. My sewing room, millinery room, is filled with band boxes that I can take to the museum. So that tends to hold a lot of my supplies and some of my pieces. In general, I actually don't keep a lot of pieces here because I make them and I sell them. I rarely have a stock of pieces unless I have a particular event coming up, and then I'll save up a few for that particular event. So I don't normally have to save a lot of pieces. My personal millinery, which has evolved over the years, so I have some that don't see the light of day, are in boxes similar to this, and they're just stored away. So I guess that's it for today. Let's go back over your basics here. So for each one, 2 plaques, one large, one small, or a plaque and a piece of foam, 2 screws. I'm going to recommend, I believe I was using 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and then a dowel or a spindle of some sort at the height that you need, and then paint if you wish to paint it. Of course, you don't have to. I will warn that, okay, I don't know if you can see the cracking as this turns, because these have traveled to events and back several times. That may bother you if you have a square spindle. So I hope everybody has a good day. Thank you for tuning in. I guess this is a shorter video. please give me some suggestions below, because this morning I really did have a hard time trying to decide what I wanted to talk about. Granted, some of that might have been my head. All right. See you tomorrow.